Hi, second graders. Today I have a great story for you called Ducky. This is another story that is based on a real event. So, as I read this to you, this really happened. It happened in 1992. Um, so, today and tomorrow, I'm going to read you two versions of the same story. Today's story is a little bit longer. And what you're going to be asked to do tomorrow, after we've read the second story, you are going to complete and submit a Venn diagram. And this will be an assignment in your Google Classroom. And you're going to write down two facts that were in the book from today that were not in the book that I will read tomorrow. You're going to write two facts from the book tomorrow that were not in today's book. And then you're going to write two facts that were the same in both books. So this story really happened. It's a fun one. You're really going to like it, I believe. A storm comes and crashes around a ship, and a whole crate of rubber duckies fall out, and they are found all around the world. So I hope you enjoy the story, Ducky. It is written in the perspective of the ducky. I am a yellow plastic duck, and I am in great danger. Yesterday, I was snuggled safe with 100 other bathtub toys. We were in a crate on a big ship. A storm came. Our crate was washed overboard. Down, down, down it went. We tumbled around inside, yellow ducks, green frogs, blue turtles, and red beavers. Bump, crash, and we hit the bottom. The crate broke, and we bobbled like colored bubbles to the surface. So all of the bath toys are floating out of the crate. The sun is rising now, and the sea is pink. My bathtub friends float all around me. Our ship has disappeared. The sea is big, big, big. Oh, I am scared. And look at all the bathtub toys floating all over. Fish with watery eyes come to stare. A sea snake wiggles itself among us. A great monster head rises close to me. Shark! I go from scared to terrified. Do you see the shark's mouth? The shark's mouth opens and it gulps a frog, two beavers, three turtles, and me. It shakes its head and spits us out. I expect we are not too tasty, although we are guaranteed to be non toxic, which means non poisonous. A wedge of pelicans flies above us. Oh, how I wish I could fly! I'd fly to safety. And the frog next to me is turned upside down by a wave, and then right upside by another. But we are drifting far from one another. Great sea spaces separate us. High on a sea swell, I see us spread across the ocean for miles and miles. The next morning, I have no yellow ducks, green frogs, blue turtles, or red beavers to keep me company. Like the ship, they have left, and I am alone. So, boys and girls, the other creatures, the other bath toys that Ducky was with. That's a really important part of this story. Hint, hint. I can't tell how long I float on the big empty ocean. There are days when sun sparks the water, when the ocean is blue with white ruffles, and there are days when I float through the rain. Days when the wind blows me backward, tumbling me like a yellow ball. It is all the same to me. I only know the loneliness. There are days when fog hides me even from myself, and then I am lonelier than ever. There are nights of clouds and nights of constellations. Remember, those are the pictures in the sky, the stars. There is a moon and another and another. The water must be colder now. Ice nudges me. Seals bark as I go by. Will I float in this ocean forever and ever? It is on a day of pale light that I feel the sun lift me, carry me, and crash me down. I'm somersaulting over small stones. What's happening to me now? Someone is shouting, I found one! I found one! It's a duck! A boy's face is close to mine. We are nose to beak, beak to nose. Another boy rubs my head. Hi, Ducky. That's what I'll call him, Ducky, my boy says. His friend grins. Good name, very original. I need to report that I found him, my boy says, and he gets on a bike. Mrs. James is keeping a record for science. For science? Me? Who do you think Mrs. James is? Who do you think that might be? Who do you think this boy knows? He calls her Mrs. James, and she's keeping a record for science. Do you have any idea who that might be? My gosh, look at this. It's great to see so many friends again. And if you look closely, you can see some of the little other animals being held by different people in town. Now we are in a room, and my boy sets me on a table. I found him down on the beach, Mrs. James, he tells a woman. Thank you for reporting it, she says, and she writes in a notebook. I'll put it on my ducks found list. People are finding a lot of these bathtub toys around town. The scientists are so interested. Ducky's coming home with me, my boy says. We ride to his house and he puts me in his bathtub. Oh, I am so happy. I am a bathtub duck, fulfilling my destiny. How wondrous it is to be able to float. Boys and girls, what do you think when the duck says, this is my destiny? This is what I am meant to do. I am meant to be in a bathtub. I am meant to be in a bath, and I am meant to float. So I just love this story. I think this is such a neat story. So in 1992, a crate containing 29,000 plastic bathtub toys left on a ship from Hong Kong, China, bound for Tacoma, Washington. Washington in the United States, so the state, north of California. It was washed overboard in a storm. Hundreds of the toys have been since found, beached on the eastern coast of the Gulf of Alaska. So this little boy and in this town, the setting of this scene right here is supposed to be in a small town in Alaska. Scientists are checking findings and sightings to learn more about currents, winds, and tides. Using computers, they plot the track of the remaining toys. Some, they believe, will go into the Arctic Ocean, that's the ocean near the north end of our Earth, and ride a course toward the North Pole. Some could sail around the top of the world to the North Atlantic. One lone duck has been found off of Washington State. How wondrous it is to be able to float. So, I want you to take some notes, some important notes about this book. There were other animals in this story, right? And think about where the little duck ended up. Think about some of the things that he saw in the water, things that animals that almost ate him. Kind of think a few of those things. Tomorrow, I'm going to read you a little bit of a shorter story based on this same event. And then your assignment tomorrow is to compare and contrast. Think about how are these two stories the same, which is comparing, and how are they different? That would be contrasting. We have worked a lot on this at school. We did this a lot with fairy tales and nonfiction. And so tomorrow, you're going to be doing that with this story and the story I read to you tomorrow. Okay. So this will be tomorrow's assignment after I read you that story. So I hope you enjoy the story. I think this is such a fun story, and I can't imagine the thrill of finding one of these wash up from the ocean. I think that would be so very exciting. So, thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're having a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. Thank you. Bye.